Hi everyone, we are here at the Bachmann's Garden Railroad once again for our second, I guess what we would call annual now, large-scale special. So once again, this is going to be a somewhat of a little bit of an experiment with multi-cameras and being outdoors. So if there are any audio issues, please let us know in the chat. But we're gonna just go ahead and take it from here. So I'm Matt, as always. This is Tyler, and over here is Ray, the Bachman himself.
Do you want me to speak?
Sure.
Yes, you are allowed to speak tonight.
I'm still married. Anyway, welcome back to our Garden Railroad. Happy to have you here. We worked very diligently all weekend. It's been a very busy spring, and we just are starting to get everything back in operation. So a couple of fellas from the Hudson Valley Large Scale Club, Nick Savatsky and Kenny Vogel, and I worked for 5 hours yesterday, and we had everything running perfectly. And then this morning I came out, and there were deer on the layout, but I got it running again. And so now there are going to be derailments all over the place, because that's the rules of model railroading. So bear with us, but we will run some trains for you tonight.
Absolutely. And so Tyler is he's gone off this way to get one of our locomotives set up. But for right now, yeah, Ray. So we had one large scale train show recently. We got another one coming up. Do you want to talk a little bit about those?
Sure. 2 weeks ago, we did the Northeast Large Scale Train Show in Springfield, run by the Amherst Society, and it featured a lot of great layouts. The outstanding layout was the New Hampshire Garden Railway Club. It was huge, possibly the biggest modular layout ever. Also, the Hudson Valley layout was the second largest, and it was 20 by 40 or 50, and that was the second one. We had the Philadelphia one, the Central Connecticut G-Gaugers. So it was a wonderful show. We had lots of dealers, lots of people, and we had a great weekend there. This past weekend, Nico Corbo from 4-Track Railroad initiated his show, the Great Lakes Train Show, and he said they did very well. And then this coming weekend, I'll be down in Annapolis, Maryland, for the East Coast show. So that's 3 large-scale shows in 3 weeks, and there's any number of opportunities that means for you to come out, see the manufacturers, see the trains, and just enjoy the large-scale show.
And most importantly, if you go to the Annapolis show, if you happen to be in Maryland next week, you will meet the Bachman himself.
And what a thrill it will be for you!
That's worth the entry fee in itself, right there.
Absolutely.
All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about products. Tyler, you want to come back over to the table and
Here, I'll take over.
we'll introduce some stuff?
Yeah. All right, hello again. So Ray's going to get his train moving that will be highlighting some of the products that we're going to be talking about today. Some that have just arrived and are shipping out to dealers now, and some that have come in over the past couple of years. We'll be focusing primarily on our 1 to 29 scale range, which is the most popular scale for doing American standard gauge large scale modeling.
Right.
So we have here on the table our second locomotive we've released in this range, the EMD GP40, which we premiered on last year's large scale special.
There appears to be a train coming, so I'm just going to change the camera for a second here.
And here it comes. So like all of Bachmann's large-scale locomotives, the GP40 is great in that it has complete flexibility in its control systems. You can run it right out of the box on direct current track power. It's also got a non-proprietary plug-and-play board for doing DCC and RC control installations. And Ray, here on his layout, he has it set up for dead rail, so there's no power to the track, and he does RC with batteries. So his GP40 that you just saw going by was running off RC power.
And actually, Tyler, maybe what we should do here is I can grab the other camera here, and I can do some close-ups while we're going over these.
Yeah, that would be great.
So let me just switch over here. I'm gonna walk out of the picture here for a second.
So the GP40 comes in 4 paint schemes. We've got the Union Pacific running on the layout, got Santa Fe here in my hands and on the table, as well as CSX and Norfolk Southern, which you may be able to see in the background. But yeah, Matt's got the second camera here now. We'll bring it in nice and close so you can see all the incredible separately applied details on this locomotive. The windshield wipers, the grab irons, metal handrails, safety chains, operating knuckle couplers. This one doesn't have it actually.
This is one of our show samples, so
Yes.
it may not have exactly everything that's on the final models.
Yeah. You've got tread on the walkways. You've got a lowering deck plate. You've got see-through steps. You've got a fully detailed cab. It has a detailed painted control stand, an engineer figure who's actually fallen over on this sample, but he does come with.
I'm going to try and see that control stand there.
Yeah.
There you go.
On the final model, it has sunshades installed above the cab windows. You've got a nice separately applied horn up here. You've got working directional headlights and marker lights. Now we turn it around to the side here. I'll show off, you've got see-through vents on the dynamic brake housing. You've got accurate see-through metal wire back here for the radiator screens, as well as a mesh screen up here. I believe this would be where the turbocharger is. You've got fully detailed trucks.
Love the detail on these trucks. And most importantly, these are all in stock and shipping now.
That's correct. They came in, I believe, early this year or late last year. They are in stock now.
So what do you have next for us here?
Well, I just want to remind everybody about our first one, the 29 scale locomotive, which is over here on the layout, and that is the Dash 9. The 2 road names you see here, BNSF and Union Pacific, they are out of stock. We do still have some Norfolk Southern Operation Lifesaver in stock and Santa Fe War Bonnet. And as we re-announced in the 2025 catalog, we're going to be having 5 new paint schemes coming next year with 2 road numbers each. Those will be the Union Pacific with the yellow sill, similar to what you see here. BNSF Heritage 2. What are the other ones? Canadian National, Norfolk Southern Thoroughbred, and Southern Pacific, as well as CSX Bright Future. So it's actually 6 road names, 2 road numbers each. So it's 12 new Dash 9s are going to be coming next year. And they have the same great features as the GP40 in terms of your plug-and-play board. And these have redesigned motor blocks and truck assemblies. You've got all the separately applied handrails and grab irons that we mentioned before.
All the interior detail that you have in the GP40s as well.
These also have working smoke units, both the GP40 and the Dash 9. Just another level of realism. I'm going to actually pop the top off the Dash 9 here and show you the control panel. Now this is again a non-functional sample, but on the production models you have your smoke unit here. You have the switch between battery and track power. You turn the motor on and off. This is particularly comes in handy when you're doing RC power, or if you just want to have a locomotive sitting dead on a track, and you can toggle all of the lights and the smoke unit on and off.
And that just slides right on and off. No unscrewing necessary, right?
That's correct. Pop it back in place here.
Probably better done when it's not,
Yeah.
barely reachable on the layout, but for our purposes,
Good as new.
All right, so what else do we have on the table?
Yeah, let's bring it back over to the table and we'll talk about the 1 to 29 scale rolling stock that we have to complement these diesel locomotives. And this is our latest large-scale release. As mentioned, they are shipping out to dealers now, and that is the 1 to 29 scale single-dome tank car. This is based on a 1930s era design with a riveted tank. Very detailed underbody on these. The accurate friction-bearing trucks with working springs. You'll notice these have metal wheels. All of our large-scale rolling stock comes with metal wheels pre-installed for superior performance. You've got the working knuckle couplers on each end.
And these have era-appropriate trucks on them too, when compared with the other large-scale rolling stock that's a more recent generation, correct?
Correct, yeah. I'll bring it down here and you can see the difference between, on the more modern freight cars, the roller-bearing truck and the friction-bearing truck. And also on the tank car you have the real metal handrails, and best of all, a feature we weren't even aware of before we got these samples. You have an opening lid.
We can't guarantee that it's water sealed, but
yes,
I
can tell you for a fact it is not water sealed because you've got a hole right there in the bottom of the chassis.
So you can load and unload in the same spot.
Yes.
But great for making scenes. You know, if you have an unloading scene on your railroad, you have a siding where these are being loaded or unloaded. Just another feature of these cars.
Yes. These also come in 2 road numbers, and we've got 3 realistic paint schemes in this run. You've got Quaker State, and on the train going around the layout, there is Shell and Texaco.
We'll see those when we come back around again.
And we also have a little bit of fantasy offering, a brand new Christmas freight car, and this is the Mrs. Claus's Wassail Christmas Punch. You ever heard the lyric, "Wassailing we will go"? That's what wassail is. It's a traditional English Christmas punch.
Very nice. Wonderful graphics on this, too.
Yeah, we're really happy with how that came out.
I like all the little details, like it says over here, tested 12/25/24 at North Pole.
Yeah, that's right. It's just convincing enough to look kind of realistic if there really was a railroad going to the North Pole, but adding a little whimsy as well.
Absolutely.
So only 1 road number for the Mrs. Claus's Christmas Punch, but as I mentioned, 2 road numbers for the other tank cars, and those are shipping now and in stock at Bachmann's warehouse. Now we'll move over to the other 1 to 29 scale freight cars in our range. These released, I believe, about 2 years ago. The Bethlehem Steel 100-ton 3-bay hopper.
These are awesome cars.
They really are. You've got the separate metal handrails and grab irons. Again, you have a fully detailed chassis. These actually have working hopper doors. They'll just spring back like so, but they do open just like they would on the prototype.
That's awesome. I actually never knew that about these cars.
But you learn something new every day looking at these models up close. This is my personal favorite paint scheme, the Pennsylvania Power and Light Company. We also have it available in CSX, Norfolk Southern, and Union Pacific, with 2 road numbers for each of those.
And at some point, you'll see those a couple of those come around on the train as well.
Yeah,
it's a big layout, so it takes a while for it to get around.
it is. And we'll also show the Evans boxcar, which was the first 1 to 29 scale freight car we released. These, in the first run, came with the end of train device on the end, and we'll show you that as well when the train comes around. We also have a new run of them without the end of train device to add to the middle of your consist. 5 road names for the non-end of train device version. CSX, Railbox, Santa Fe, and Norfolk Southern. New road numbers to complement the version with the end of train device. And we also have this brand new paint scheme, the Tropicana Orange Juice, with 2 road numbers for this one.
I think we may have shown the first sample of these last year, before these were out, but they are out and shipping now.
So I'm going to give the train the stop signal here, and we'll show off more of these samples. think we might need a fourth person for the next train.
All right, here we go. This should work.
We've got the train parked on the main here, and you can hear the sounds from the RC system installed. This was done by Rail Pro. There's a number of great RC installation systems available on the market. There's the 1 in 29 scale tank car, those other cane schemes we mentioned, the Texaco and the Shell. We've got our Bethlehem Steel 100 bay topper, 100-ton freebay hopper, the Union Pacific and CSX. And now we'll show you the Evans boxcar with the end of train device. Hold it right here. I'm going to turn this on for the people, for the folks. Right now, this is turned off. Out of the box, this can run off both track power if you have power to your tracks. And then if I flick the toggle switch here, that'll turn on the end of train device. It also can be battery powered using a standard cell battery, which you install on the truck that the end of train device is on. And you can see there, it's got a realistic blinking red light. And that is a scale proportioned end of train device attached to the coupler just like the prototype. And away he goes.
All right. So as the train disappears off down the track again, we'll continue looking at what's on the table because we've got a few more things.
Yeah, so we have a couple items here that are also in stock and came in over the past year or two. We've got our little large-scale speeders here. It doesn't get much smaller than this for a motorized large-scale unit. It's got a working headlight and a blinking LED roof light. You've got separate handrails. You've got 2 crew figures seated in here.
Love these little things.
Yes. And this is our New York Central speeder, one of our new road names. Took a little bit of artistic license. I don't know if they had any that were painted in the jade green or the century green colors, but it's a sharp-looking little unit. Then we have one that's a complete fantasy, another Christmas item, the North Poland Southern Elf Express Workshop Shuttle, number 1/2. You can see here, it's got the 2 elf figures inside, waving hello.
That's awesome.
And then for another large-scale motorized unit, we brought back the close streetcar. This was given a rework mechanically. It has metal gears now for improved reliability and performance. Working directional lights on either end. A fully detailed interior with sliding doors. You've got little stirrup handholds hanging from the ceiling, bench seating, a simulated wood grain floor. It's a trolley pole here that you can rotate around in position. Hop it under the holder there, or just let it hang up like so. We have the United Traction Company on display here, and we do also have a North Pole Rapid Transit trolley in the line now, which we don't have a sample of here today. But it was a fun project to bring back one of the earliest Bachmann big hauler large-scale items.
And a great model item for outdoor layouts because it's small, it's compact, and you don't need a massive layout to run these on.
That's correct. So we're going to get now into some upcoming large-scale releases, and one of them is here on the table here. We're branching out into large-scale building kits. What we have here is a sample that Ray painted and assembled. The actual production models are kits. They are ready to assemble out of the box with some glue and screws, but they're very nice looking rustic buildings. We've got 2 on the line to start. This is the covered bridge, which you For those of you who are in the New England and Pennsylvania area, this will look like a very familiar design. One of the underappreciated features of the covered bridge is that you can see here it has timbers here, and if you were to put a straight piece of large-scale track, it will fit in perfectly between the bridge timbers here. So you can run your large-scale train through here, clearance-wise permitting.
And you could also use it as a road bridge as a scenery item as well if you wanted to.
Yeah.
We need a few more ties in between though.
Yes. There's a lot of versatility with this bridge.
Absolutely.
And if you want to switch back over to the phone camera, the other building kit is over on the layout. It's a station platform. As you can see, these are the colors that it will come molded in right out of the box, with the brown shingle roof and rafters, the green painted posts, and the light beige platform. But of course, you're free to paint and weather as you choose. Also comes with two destination signs hanging from the rafters that you can put a station name of your choice on.
Very nice.
So you'll see here there's a lot of other buildings on the layout. And full disclosure, these are not Bachmann products. Some of them are from other large-scale manufacturers, and some of them are Ray's own scratch building projects, which I'll tell you about in a little bit. And we do want to show off one more coming attraction here on the table. Sorry to make you keep switching around, Matt. But we did want to make sure we were giving this some love because, of course, for those of you in the Thomas fandom out there watching, as you're well aware, today is officially the 80th anniversary of the Thomas and Friends franchise. So it's not a Thomas-focused stream today, but we do have one Thomas product, and that's the return of the Thomas with Annie and Clarabelle starter set. And it's been several years since we've had a Thomas starter set in the line, and we're happy to be bringing it back. It's a great way to get people of all ages into large scale. And what's distinct about this set is that for the first time, it comes with DCC sound on board. We have changed out the standard Thomas for the one with DCC sound on board, featuring authentic sounds from the Thomas and Friends TV series. And it also comes with the speed controller and circle of steel track. So we're looking to be shipping this out later this year.
Perfect introductory item for anybody getting their kids started in large-scale railroading.
That covers just a portion of our large-scale line, but just some of the latest and upcoming releases, of course. We do also have our 1 to 20 freescale narrow gauge line and our other starter sets. If you want to see the complete Bachmann large-scale line, make sure to check out our website and browse our online store for the 2025 Bachmann catalog.
Yep. Plenty of stuff in large scale, and is it 3 or 4 different scales we have in large scale, right?
I believe it's
Three?
I believe it's 3.
3, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that's pretty much an update of what's going on in our large scale line. One thing I did want to mention also is we are bringing out 2 new paint schemes for the speeders as well. We're going to be having a Milwaukee Road and Baltimore, Ohio coming in as well.
That's correct. We don't have samples for those yet, but we'll be sure to show them off as soon as we get them.
Yeah, you'll see the artwork in our catalog. The B&O one in particular is one I'm really looking forward to because it's got the classic. Does that scheme have a name?
It's the passenger era scheme with the black stripe.
Yeah, very classy looking unit. And of course, I don't know, you may have mentioned this already, but they come with flashing lights on the roof and working headlights as well.
That's correct.
So, what do you think? Should we let's move it to Ray? Ray has a few things he wants to show us.
Yeah, we're going to show the Bachmann's custom projects.
All right, take it away.
Well, on this layout, we run both standard gauge and narrow gauge, but only one at a time. So right now we have all the standard gauge 1 to 29 equipment out. When we're running narrow gauge, we run the 1 to 20.3, but I don't mix them because I just don't like to do that. All of the buildings, some of them are scratch built and some are kits, and I try to split the difference between 1 to 20 and 1 to 29, which would be 1 to 24-ish, a dollhouse scale, so that they don't look terrible with either one, but they're not perfect with either one either. And then if you look on the platform, you see that the people are 1 to 20.3, so that lady is about 12 feet high. And that's why I have them behind the trains, so it's not glaring, the disparity, regardless of which scale you're running. And that's fun. Now, the buildings, the coal and coke dealer, named after my father-in-law, and you can see today the deer just killed it. All of the fencing is destroyed. So that'll have to be redone. But that all of these buildings were in the Garden Trains annual from White River, and there will be more this year. The Borden's Ice House, or Creamery rather, is from last year, and so is Machado's Ice Station down the line there. And you can see one of the challenges of being outside, the roofs are starting to work. And even on the commercial buildings, for instance, on the big dye works down there, which is made from three Pico breweries and all the attendant buildings. And they have great high quality buildings, and even those roofs are working. So I don't know what you guys out in Arizona do. I'm surprised you just don't have a puddle where the building used to be. So we have some other things too. The Pico farmhouse is boarded up, and it represents the poem by Joyce Kilmer called "The House with Nobody in It," which starts out, "Whenever I walk to Suffern along the Erie tracks, I go by a sad old farmhouse with the shingles broken and black. I suppose I've passed it 100 times, but I always stop for a minute to look at the house, the tragic house, the house with nobody in it." When I was in school, we had to learn poems, and that was one of my students. So in any event, as you can see, we can basically by selective compression and a little semantic realism, the buildings look fine with either scale. And, we're sort of trained to ignore things that are out of scale, like the fence or the trees. You can't cut those down. Yeah. So, it throws your eye into the layout. And that's what we try to do. But as far as figures go, I try to have people who are basically at rest, talking to one another, waiting for the train. I don't have any of the Dash and Dan commuters from the Long Island Railroad. To me, that would look silly. Or, you have someone diving into a lake forever. Yeah. So I try to use figures at rest. One nice figure down by the waterfall is our dear departed friend Lee Riley, Alan Pollock from Fun and Games, commissioned this figure when he was still with us, and now he's on the layout forever fishing. There he is.
Yeah, there's lots of all kinds of fun surprises and secrets on the layout like that. If you look over here on the top of the hill, that black spherical object, that is actually the top of a water tower that used to be on the roof of the Bachmann warehouse.
That's the finial from our water tower.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Well,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the buildings are great. They really make it feel like a real railroad and not just, not just a railroad that happens to go through a garden. And as I say that, we've got somebody mowing the lawn, a neighbor just on the other side of the fence. But in any case, it's not just the scenery. There's a couple of locomotive and rolling stock projects on here that I think we should have you talk about too, Ray.
Well, that's the Burlington Northern Santa Fe anniversary engine. They painted what, 10, 12? Something like that. And it's very attractive. So we printed the decals, and I think it really is a standout. And on the back track, we have some express movers that I did. These also were at the Garden Trains Annual, and they are based on Bachmann refrigerator cars. The New York Central one I spliced. The Central New England, it's just a regular one, but I put round roofs on both of them. They look great running with the passenger trains. And the ice house named for Gil Machado, who's the gentleman who helps me with the layout. It's a fun way to sort of recognize people who help you out. And I guess that's about it. It's out here now. That big gondola over there is from four-track railroader Nico Corbo and Vincent. Make those, and they're very nice. So,
Yeah.
Oh, the water floats are actually MTH O-gauge ones, but they scale out really nicely for the large scale.
They do. Oh, and there's somebody who looks a little bit familiar standing here.
I wonder who that could be. We all got scanned up at the Springfield show 2 years ago. Scanned and printed.
Yeah, that was done by the guys over at 3D Prints, and they did a great job. And this is one that your grandson painted, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did great as well.
So, for somebody who's getting into large scale railroading, garden railroading, obviously there's a lot of upkeep with plants and keeping it seasonal. Why don't you talk us through a little bit about that?
Well, basically, the world is a tough place. You have to take care of your house. So, a house that is 1/5 the size is much more subject to the whims of Mother Nature. So each spring, we have to reballast the railroad, which is what we accomplished over the weekend. And most of the buildings I put away, but the ones that I left out have taught me that next year I'll put them all away because it was a tough winter. Not a lot of snow, but a lot of hot and cold, wind. It just it's a tough world, and with this, your upkeep and maintenance is very like on the real ones. You have to keep on top of it. You have to keep the deer out. We have now got a family of foxes living under the railroad shed. Four little kids that saw the mom the other day. They're jumping around having fun. As I said this morning, found a couple of deer out here, and the deer have no fear. I walk out the door and say, "You, out!" And they look at you like, "Yeah, who are you?" It's just astonishing how little fear they have. And we also have a couple of bears. To date, I don't even think what they could do. But on the whole, it's been here 15 years. Every year you add a little bit, every year you get more. And if you notice, it's a lot greener than it was last live stream. I had a landscaper called Lion Landscaping come here in the pouring rain last Thursday. And they got all these new plants in, and as I say, the Hudson Valley guys came down. And so, thanks to all of their efforts, we're able to do this. And I could not do this alone. So, it's a community kind of thing, and everybody in the community is really great. They're really great friends. We're privileged to have him all as friends.
All right. Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess let's just want to give a little bit more of a close up of the anniversary.
Yeah. Let's get in there nice and close.
That's a really beautifully finished locomotive.
It is.
The big challenge there is getting the decals around the rails, grab irons, whatnot on the nose. It's really difficult. What I did was cut the decal in half, put a top half and a bottom half, so particularly on the switch behind the cab. And the other thing is, the real ones are AC 4400, so the spacing and the landmarks are not exactly the same. But I'm pleased with the way it came out, and everyone who's seen it seems pleased as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it looks great.
So, what I'm going to do now is ask the comments here whether anybody wants to see specific on the layout.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we can open it up to our Q&A and ask some